we didn't do a TWAB reading last week. And I don't think we're going to do TWAB readings anymore. I think we're going to reserve it for Coffee Talk. For Coffee Talk. And the funny thing is this last TWAB was kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal. So everyone's angry. I'm angry. And to the point where I haven't even really... I went and I did like a few Crucible matches last weekend. Literally a few. I couldn't... I don't know. I feel dirty when I touch the game. I went and got bounties on my Titan for Crucible and Gambit because I wanted to do my bounties for Bright Dust Monday. Grabbed the bounties, logged out of the game. I have no will to play Destiny right now. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you know, this is just one thing. Why it's not that big of a deal. Why are everyone so upset about it? And it's like, so this isn't... I mean, it's a pretty bad transmog system. We're going to go over it real quickly. But it's not just the transmog system. It's Bungie's overall attitude towards its customers. Its paying customers. And that's what we are, customers. And they are not serving us well. They're not treating us with integrity. And there's just so much they've done in the last 2 years to screw up this game. And I'm at the end of my rope. I said that I will finish playing Destiny until the end of Destiny, but I will never buy another Bungie IP ever. At this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to finish Destiny. I'm really feeling this low on the game. I am. They've taken out so much content, and a lot more people are starting to sound like me. So I think a lot of people have gotten away from being apologists. You still have the people who are like Bungie fanboys, but they just get dismissed. It's like, kid, go back to your privileged life. You know, let your mom pay for all your stuff. People don't understand that if you love a game and love to play it, but that spark leaves, it's the worst feeling. Yeah, and the spark is leaving not because we play too much. A lot of people are like, well, just take a break from the game. You need to take a break. And it's like, that's not the problem, dude. They are ruining their game. They're taking everything out of it that people love. Like cap the resources for... Yep. Well, it's capped for everybody, Glitch. Not just free-to-play players. Oh, you mean that's what they should do for it. Yeah. But also they're introducing 4 new resources. Currencies. We have been asking Bungie to remove currencies from the game for a long time. We have too many currencies, and they keep adding them. We've been asking Bungie to remove bounties from the game, and they keep adding them. Like, there's too many bounties. There's too many resources. So, with that said, let's get on to an overview of the TWAB here. So, first of all, we learned that with the Nightfall weapons, they are removing Palindrome, Shadow Price, and the Swarm for Season 14. Only for the first half of the season, they're going to be introducing new Nightfall weapons, and then these will come back in. I'm not sure if they're going to be, like, more frequent drops or what, but they're shifting Nightfall for new weapons. The problem is the game is due to Lamau. By the way, I just turned this on, so I don't know what game we're talking about. Destiny. So you're 100% right. Right. The other thing they're doing is with shaders. So the shader price, this really chaps my ass. The shader price is being raised from 40 Bright Dust to 300 Bright Dust. And it's going to cost 500 Glimmer to apply a shader to any piece. So they're saying armor, but I think it's realistic to expect that it's also going to be weapons. Now, never mind the fact that when you currently get shaders and you break them down, you get Glimmer and Legendary Shards. Well, we're not getting that anymore. You're not going to be earning shaders in the game. You buy them. So you can't use shaders as a source for currency. So they've essentially taken currency away from... They've taken a lot of currency away from us. A lot of Bright Dust has been taken away, and a lot of Legendary Shards have been taken away. And people... I don't think a lot of people haven't really realized the impact of that, but they will when it's implemented. And for someone like me who has 9,000 shards, because I've been playing forever, it's not going to be too big of a deal. But your newer players are going to be in hell. I have an alt account, and I've started up several new characters, and guys, not having legendary shards, like being a new player and having less than 1,000, even 1,000 legendary shards doesn't give you freedom in the game. You still have to be very careful about what you spend them on. And honestly, if you have any amount of hours in the game, like anything respectable, even 100 hours in the game, you shouldn't be hurting for Glimmer and legendary shards. Um, you heard the Transmog is going to suck. You heard right. I feel like they're trying to make you grind more to get the player base something to do. Right, and we're already grinding a lot. The most fun I had this season was after the seasonal content was over. I was thankful it was over so I could go just noodle around on the moon and get weapon drops. Updated weapons, get the non-sunset versions, try to get the curateds because collector account. They're not letting us play in the game, and they need to stop catering to the people who need a constant. Actually, I don't really know of anyone who wants a drip feed. People hate drip feeds. Also, when you drip feed content, there's no immersion in the game. In Forsaken, we had immersion. Yeah, people would finish all the content in a certain period of time, but there was immersion, and people loved it because of it. And you need that in a story game. I honestly don't know why additional bounties cost so fucking much, because they give you Bright Dust. And Bright Dust gives you stuff that they want you to spend silver on. That's why. This all comes back to Eververse and spending money on silver. That's what they want. So the Transmog system, Bungie has introduced 4 new materials into the game for the Transmog system. In short, it's a convoluted system. It's incredibly grindy, and it's going to seriously limit how many armor pieces you can unlock unless you spend money in Eververse. So in season 14, they're gonna bless us with 4 armor set unlocks per character, so you can unlock 4 complete armor sets. That's 20 pieces. You can grind for all of that. They're going to allow you, hey, we'll let you have 4 armor sets. Stuff you've already earned, but you're gonna grind for it so you can unlock it and rock it out permanently. After that, you will only be able to unlock 2 armor sets per season. So if you're a completionist, yeah. Nah. Completionists are the ones who are suffering the most in this. Due to the technical issues that will be resolved during a later season, Year 1 armor ornaments cannot be created from Vanguard, Crucible, Iron Banner, faction rallies, prestige raids, or Trials of the 9 activities from Year 1. And this is a truly unethical issue here. 2018 and 2019 glows will not be available, even though we paid cash and Bright Dust for these glows. And there have been plenty of problems with these glows in the past. Bungie needs to pick a pricing model. They need to pick one pricing model. The game is not free to play. That is a misnomer. And they have created a demo version of the game that points to purchasing the game at every corner. It is not free to play, people. This is a demo. An Outriders demo gives you way more than the Destiny demo. And yet, even though they have all these things that they ask you to spend money on, they take every chance they can to crap on their paying customers. So they've essentially stolen all of our earned rewards. Like, I have 5,000 hours in the game and nothing to show for it. All of my armor before this, all of my armor that has not already sunset, gone. No levy armor, no crown armor, all my weapons. My vault is full of sunset stuff that I use in patrol zones to keep it fresh. But, like, it's still sunset. That's stuff I grinded for. That's stuff I've already earned. That's stuff I've already paid for. And they've taken it away. So like I said, I said I was going to play Destiny 2 until the end. I'm not sure now. I'm not sure. With these business practices, I feel incredibly underappreciated as a customer. This isn't about loyalty to a brand. I feel like dude, Bungie, I've said this already, Bungie is like an abusive lover who will give you a little bit to entice you to come back in, and then they will do the most toxic thing to hurt you, and then they'll entice you to come back again. This is real stuff. This is what narcissists do. Like, they'll give you just enough to want to come back, and then they'll take a bunch away. And it is an emotionally abusive thing. And the fact that we see a company doing this, they're worse than Activision ever was. Like I play several Activision Blizzard games, and I don't feel like they're trying to squeeze money out of me every chance of the way. Call of Duty, whatever I wanted to earn, I was allowed to earn. It wasn't that hard. And as far as their season pass goes, if I actually play the game, I earn enough points to get the next season pass for free. Like, Bungie doesn't offer us that. So Warzone is 100% free. You can buy stuff if you want, but they're not taking things away. They did take some XP upgrades when they transferred to Cold War, but again, not something that I condone, but dude, that's not anywhere on the level of what Bungie has done to us already. And people need to wake up to that. But yeah, one thing is for sure, Bungie is a highly unethical developer, and I absolutely will not invest in any of their IPs. One being Matter. Matter is what the community knows this currently under development IP to be. It is a work in progress that Chris Barrett is the game director of. And Chris Barrett was game director for Destiny, and it's, you know, when it was at its peak. So he worked on it. So Matter could be a good game, but this isn't about whether or not a game is good. This is about how a company treats its customers. And you know, when I bought Destiny 2, it had a certain business model, and they changed that business model last year. And I don't approve. Had I known that they were going to do this, I never would have bought the game. And as someone who hasn't done live service games until 2016, that was my first live service game. This was one of my biggest fears. I was like, well, what if they take content away from me? I can pull out games I bought 20 years ago, and they're still the same. They're still there. They haven't been removed because there's no longer servers to host them. I think live service games are crap, especially when given to you by companies like Bungie who don't want to host them properly. So Glitch, yeah, I agree. Cap the resources for Transmog for free-to-play players. Yeah, these are the people they should be pushing towards Eververse. But they should not be bleeding their paying customers dry. Like, I think everyone here has paid for the DLCs and season. Yeah, everyone here has paid for all the base games, the expansions, the seasonal content, the season passes. And I think it's $300 alone for everything that we bought. I was telling you guys about the Fire Team Chat video that I saw, and they made some really good comments about Transmog going forward. Here's what they have to say about it.
Brian, I want to hear some hyperbole.
I hate it.
Come to the dark side. Come.
No, Transmog isn't supposed to be a gameplay loop. It's supposed to be a player, like a player-driven choice based on the gameplay you've already invested into the game and the rewards you've already earned. It's Bungie saying like, "Hey, you've earned these rewards. Basically, you got to go do it again." They didn't make this grind and go, the players are going to love this. They're going to grind it all out and they're going to do it. They did it.
That's just it. People are like, well, you know, Bungie's just trying to do what's best for the player base, and this is going to be a great system. You're overreacting. But what he's saying is true. You need to step back and look at this situation from an objective standpoint. And Bungie's not doing this for us. What are you, smoking crack? This is all about silver.
With intention for you to spend the silver to buy it, and the cap is there even more to make the sense of urgency to buy it. Am I happy about it? No. Does it make sense? Yes.
So making sense, to be clear, is not about, hey, is this the right thing to do? That's not what making sense means. Making sense means he understands why they're doing it, but they're not doing it for us. It makes sense for them, but at the same time, this is a game killer.
Bungie is hitting us at all sides now. They're not a true free-to-play game. They have seasons that they charge us for. They have expansion packs that they charge us for. They have us pre-order the special editions. Then they have an Eververse store with a bunch of microtransactions for cosmetics. And then they have this. And I think they just need to pick them. They need to pick a model, right? Like, probably not going to matter to most of us once we transmog our first 4 armor sets in this next season, but players who play later on are going to be way behind. And I also really feel sorry for the most dedicated plans, like fans. They're completionists and they need to have everything in their inventory filled out. There's going to be people like that who have no choice but to pay.
I'm not paying. I'm done.
You can't catch up and have all of your armor sets synthesized. Overall, is it like something to cry about? Is it something to like say you're going to quit Destiny forever? Like, absolutely not.
Actually, it is. And this is the capitalist in me. This is why a lot of people don't have nice things these days, or why they bitch and moan, well, I don't have money. And it's like, because you're giving people money and showing them that they can take advantage of you. Stop giving money to companies that abuse you. It's really not that complicated. As far as the grind, Shrouded Angel, there is already so much of a grind in Destiny to where it's not enjoyable. Like, I think most of the people here like to earn things, and that was the draw of Destiny, but they're so over the top with it. It's just too much. We're all in Outriders now, where the grind is way less. Most of us here play Outriders. The main issue here is Bungie still has yet to find Funchurch. Sunsetting killed your whole vibe for the game. You can't sink hours in unless it's with friends. Yeah, and I noticed you hardly play Destiny. You play so many other games, and you are loving Outriders. Like, you play that all the time. And I've played, 3 whole days of Outriders now? Like, since I bought the game. I did the demo a month ago, but, like, I've actually been playing it like I would play Destiny. That's what we've been streaming. And I'm getting to a point now where I'm comfortable with the movement, the navigation. I know what I'm doing. I know where I need to go. And I'm actually getting that spark. I'm actually starting to enjoy the game now that I've gotten over the initial challenge of just learning the base game and getting the muscle memory and just figuring out how things work. Yeah, it's great. It's a great game. Sunsetting was not awesome. Shut up, Brewski. Sunsetting was the worst idea ever. And when it comes to balancing the game, people are like, well, you can't balance the game with pinnacle weapons. That's not true. Bungie never wanted to balance the game. That's not what they do. And they admitted it in one of their last TWABs. They used different wording, but they said that they will change archetypes to keep it fresh. And it's like, no, the best thing you can do for your sandbox. And I noticed, like, I think the sandbox, people are complaining about 120s, but I feel like the sandbox right now is actually pretty balanced. The only thing that needs a buff are fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles. Like, I don't use them in PvE because they're really not that great. The only fusion rifle I use is 1K. The only linear fusion rifle I use is Sleeper Simulant. And honestly, Sleeper should be buffed. It's supposed to be an exotic linear fusion rifle. Like, these need to do more damage if they're going to be heavy linear fusion rifles. No one's gonna, and the ammo economy on linear fusion rifles are trash. So they do the damage of an ad clearing weapon, but you don't have the ammo drops that you need for an ad clearing weapon. And these weapons have been dead since I started really grinding Destiny. The only fusion rifle that was worth using was Loaded Question. That was an amazing fusion rifle, but it wasn't OP. Nobody was complaining about it. But it was a pinnacle weapon. But Bungie wants to control a meta. That's why you get weapons that are OP one season, and then they get over-nerfed the next season. They don't want to balance the sandbox. They're perfectly capable. And that's another thing I hate about Destiny is they force metas. Stop forcing metas. Like, do your best to balance the sandbox. And if something is off kilter, adjust it a little bit. I mean, that's going to happen. But stop forcing metas. Stop it. It's crazy expensive. The grind is real, I know. It's why I can't play it. Leave and come back. I cannot figure out what is going on. Yeah. And they never should have taken year 1 away. Making people play through the Red War campaign was the best thing they could have done. First of all, it is a good story. The Red War campaign did a good job of actually teaching you how to play the game. And this whole idea of just pushing people into the Destiny universe and letting them do whatever they want with their friends, People get so confused. They need their friends to play because they can't figure out what's going on. And a game like Destiny, you're not really going to learn it if you play with friends because your friends are always going to do everything for you. You need to go in and do the grind yourself. Same with Outriders. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable in Outriders right now if I didn't choose to do it on my own. While unfinished, it's super fun. Dude, I'm halfway through the campaign, 2/3 of the way through Outriders, and I'm loving it. Not even done with the campaign. Usually it's like, I want to get the campaign done, I'm enjoying it, but I want to get to endgame content. It's like, no, I'm actually like, I'm enjoying the experience in the here and now in Outriders, and that's what a video game should do. And I had that in Destiny. Destiny wasn't about just accomplishing things. I mean, I liked the triumph chasing. I liked not having FOMO. But Outriders, I'm not afraid of losing gear due to sunsetting. I'm not afraid of them taking stuff away from me. I'm going in and just enjoying a game. Same with Diablo. I've never feared losing content. They've never taken content away. I don't have to do things on their time frame. If I want to quit playing Diablo for a year and go back, which happens a lot, I don't miss out on anything. I can go back and pick it back up, and I'm not behind anyone in any way, shape, or form. I can just go enjoy playing a video game. Same with Overwatch. You don't miss out on anything by stopping Overwatch for a year. And I realized all these games I'm playing, Phasmophobia, Among Us, none of these are FOMO games. And I actually am just happy to be in those games and playing them. And Destiny just frustrates the hell out of me. The FOMO thing is defeating. It evokes such a negative response in me. It creates a stress response that I don't want to play the game. There is a point of no return where my brain's like, nah, we're done. This isn't worth it. And I do that in a lot of situations in life. When I recognize something's a losing battle, I walk away. And this is what Bungie is creating. And I'm a paying customer. Like I said, over $300, like pre-orders. So guys, when you pay $60 on a pre-order, that money, when you look at inflation and investments, that $60 is worth a lot more when you pre-order it in July than when you pay up front in October for the game. That time, that's money that they're investing. They're making way more money off of that $60. So if you guys want to screw Bungie, one good way to do it is just not to pre-order the game. Buy it the day of. That would take so much money out of their bank account. That's why pre-orders exist. I mean, you're basically fronting them capital. Now, think of pre-orders as like the stock market. When you invest in a stock, you're lending money. You are a lender. You're lending money to a business so they can use that money to invest in their business and create something profitable. And if they have profits, they return some of that money to you. Pre-orders, it's the same philosophy, except we're not getting any profits from Bungie. In fact, their reaction is just to keep trying to take more from us. You worked so hard to get Not Forgotten. It was a lot of struggle for you. Dude, Not Forgotten was I had to actually have someone go in and get a lot of my kills for me. I think I got to like 50%, and I was like, dude, it was just before Beyond Light. I had struggled with Not Forgotten because I hate Lunas. Like, I'm not good enough to proc Lunas. And so I had a friend go in and get me up to 99%. But I didn't have time to do the grind, and I didn't have the fortitude. Like, Crucible quests are so hard for most PvEers. Come back, can't figure out what's going. Now you can just buy Not Forgotten. It's crazy. And the thing is, Not Forgotten is something that you don't need to buy. Like, it's a quest that never. They should still have you earn these even though they're sunset. Like, these are things that make the game worth playing. The quests were a good idea. Back in Destiny, because it worked out back then, but they also gave us new awesome guns. Destiny 2 didn't really do that at all. Well, Brewski, you didn't really have sunsetting in Destiny 1. So when I asked questions about this, what I learned is that they sunset, 2 or 3 weapons because they were OP. When I asked someone if they did a mass sunset like they did now, the answer was no. So they removed weapons from the game because one was literally breaking the game, meaning the game was crashing on people and they couldn't figure out how to fix it. And the other one, I don't know what the deal was. I think it was just OP. Blizzard is good about which part? Quests? Blizzard is just really good. However, they've got issues that we're going to talk about. Oh, FOMO? Yeah, no, I don't experience FOMO in the games that I play in Blizzard. Not at all. Not to this degree. Not at all. Call of Duty has some FOMO, but I don't play WoW, but as far as I know, like Jez Raya told me WoW has almost all of its content in the game. Like they've removed very little content. Overwatch, there's no real FOMO. They have a few things that are FOMO. Like they'll do 2 Overwatch skins a year or 3 maybe to raise money for Overwatch League. And if you don't buy them, you'll miss out forever. But it's such a small scale. It's like, you know what? I can throw 30 or 40 bucks to Blizzard's way for playing a game that I have an ungodly amount of hours on. A game that I paid first $30 for, and then I upgraded to the $60 or $50 version to get my extra skins. I've been playing Overwatch since 2016, guys. I have a lot of time on their servers, and I've still given them less money than I have Destiny. So, and I've gotten just as much joy out of it, and it's a simpler game. That's what's really funny about it. There is no FOMO in Diablo. It's just not a thing. I'm not going to call season rewards FOMO. Like, oh, hey, you might miss out on a pet, but then, that pet will drop from a goblin at a later season. Destiny is your number 2 looter shooter, second only to Division 2. What about Outriders? They are potentially announcing Division 3 this year. Wait, I thought Division 3 was out, or were they doing the beta or the alpha or beta? I don't know. Can't wait for the D2 remake.